Each one of you is a precious member. We are one team. If we come together, we can take on the world. This is what a certain company's training looks like. You're the chosen ones. The time has come for us to create a company that can take on the world. We have a duty to make this country and this world a better place. Let's seek new heights together. At first glance, this is an ordinary speech, but the employees hearing it haven't slept. They were isolated for 3 nights and 4 days at a company retreat, and forced into a draining program. 100 in a row all together! If you fail, everyone runs 10 laps! 1, 2, 3, 4. More power! Take it seriously! Be grateful and fly! A pointless exercise that only exhausted us. They were split into groups and scolded from dusk to dawn. After stealing our sleep and making them lose their senses, it led into the president's speech. Simply put, it was mind control so they could brainwash them. Sorry to keep you waiting, here's your beer. My name is Daichi Sanada. I'm a 25-year-old that is honing his company's sheep skills at a terrible company. The company oversees all kinds of izakaya chain restaurants, and I'm working as the manager here after the retreat. You're so slow! Also, why is there only one waiter? Our sales goal was 3 times that of the restaurants in the area, so our budget and staff were shaved down. Unpaid overtime was unlimited. Apart from peak hours, it was basically a one-man operation, and I'm currently on a lucky 30-day working streak. I've received the company award before for my work, but my salary hasn't gone up, and no promotions either. I should have done the job hunting thing properly. Since I was young, I've never had a dream or goal. During my school days, I was offered by my manager at my part-time job and just took it. Honestly, I thought about switching jobs every day, but I didn't know what my experiences could be used for. I was frustrated every day. One day, I got a call from my mom back home.
Hello, Daichi? Dad was taken to the hospital. He collapsed.
What? I wanted to go home, but my family home was a plane ride away. I had to take time off from work to go. Of course, the shop wouldn't run if I took a break, so I talked to my supervisor. What? We're busy here, so tell me what you want. This is Kuroiwa-san, the area manager. He saved plenty of stores from bankruptcy. His results were recognized, and he rose to manager status. He was an elite. Actually, my parent is hospitalized, so I want to take time off. Can I get the day off tomorrow? Taking time off is what useless people do. What? I must have talked to the wrong person, because I couldn't find the words to respond to the mean words. I prioritized work even when my parent died, because that's how important work is to me. Don't be soft! Why do you think the company's letting someone like you run a very important restaurant? How much do we lose if you take time off? You're gonna cause trouble for the company with your selfishness? I was taken aback. Kuroiwa-san was blaming me without giving me a chance to respond. Anyway, don't blow off work no matter what. That's the bare minimum standard. The bare minimum was a working adult. I could understand what Kuroiwa-san was saying, but I'm gonna quit this job. I don't want to not be able to see my parents before they die. I vowed to myself as I stared at the blank screen. A few days later, I succeeded in quitting my job through an agency. Newly free, I went home. I'm home! Dad, how are you? Oh, Daichi, you're back! As you can see, I'm great! From what I could see, he wasn't fully recovered, but I was relieved at his cheerfulness.
I'm glad he got out quickly. I didn't know what would happen.
Daichi, how's work? Are you doing okay? Oh, about that. I just quit recently.
What? Why all of a sudden?
I talked about what had happened. Whoa, that's what was going on? That's tough. What are you gonna do now? Of course, I plan on finding a new job. I've already applied to some.
Really? Let's celebrate.
Yeah, let's go eat whatever you want today. Say anything. I had a much needed good time, and I started a new job the following month.
Good morning, Sanada-san. These are this month's shifts.
Huh? Why are there so many days off? And only 7 working hours a day? My new workplace was still new to me, but it's a company that has numerous cafes in the country. The average overtime hours were less than 20 a month. PTO usage was over 80%. I couldn't hide my suspicion at first, but after a few days, I realized what that meant.
You're training, so I'll have you remember the basics first.
Thank you. I'll try my best. First, the superiors were crazy nice. They spoke politely and always smiled. On top of that, they were good at teaching the job and changed their explanations to match the learner.
Sorry to keep you waiting. This is the extra large uji matcha parfait. I ordered a regular hot coffee. Oh my! I'm sorry. I'll replace it right now.
In addition, all of the employees were cheerful, and the atmosphere was extremely bright. So, the customer base was good, and the shop always had a laid-back feel to it.
Newbie, let me know whenever you're in trouble. I'm your super senpai.
This is Kanon-san, the vice manager. She makes extreme mistakes, but she has a bright personality and a lot of fans among the regulars.
You've been staring. What's wrong?
Senpai, your apron and probably your uniform are all flipped around.
What? No way!
There was never anyone like this at my last job, so it was refreshing. Sayaka-san, can you taste the new coffee blend?
It's a bit too acidic. We want a little more depth, too.
This is Sayaka-san, the manager. She was cool, calm, and collected. She had a deep knowledge of and passion for coffee. She was respected by the staff.
Let's start Sonata Daichi's welcome party!
Cheers! That day, my welcome party was held after work at an izakaya near the office. Sorry everyone, you organized all this for me. I was overwhelmed by the good treatment that was unimaginable in my last workplace. My salary is a bit lower because of the decreased overtime, but it was more than enough considering bonuses and such. The conversation naturally shifted to my last workplace, and everyone around me was shocked.
It definitely is a bit much. I'm shocked there are still companies doing that stuff. Why didn't you quit that company immediately?
How do I say this? They trained us to think in a way that made it hard to quit. There were overnight retreats for that sort of education. Thinking about it, it was weird. Normally, you would realize how weird it was if you worked 500 hours in a month. I had been accepting that as normal.
I've heard this. A flea that's put in a bowl for long times becomes unable to jump higher than that bowl. Kanon-san, that's not a very appropriate comparison.
After that, it was almost closing time, so we went outside. Before, I would still be working at this time, but things were different. I was really feeling the happiness of going home to my freedom. At the same time, the usual deathmatch was taking place at my old workplace. What? You're not coming in because of a 39 degrees Celsius fever? I came in with a 40 fever. Crawl in if you have to. Kuroiwa-san was going off on a subordinate that collapsed from a high fever. It was an image from hell. Jeez, everyone wants to take time off without bringing in any good results. This person might have succeeded like that, but that's just his one experience of many. Kuroiwa-san is going off again. He's been even worse since Sanada-san quit. The guy seemed kinda unmotivated, but he knew how to do his job.
You there! Move your hands if you have the time to chat!
Yes, sir!
It seems that that company was currently struggling with a lack of employees.
Iwakun, I appreciate you. However, it looks like our sales have gone down recently.
I apologize. Because of my ineptitude, I'll bring it back.
I trust you. This company, nay, this country is depending on youngsters like you. I'm counting on you.
The grand scope of the CEO's story was a typical feature of a terrible company. How long will they continue on? It didn't matter to me anymore, but I was curious. I had gotten used to my new environment and felt motivated. I continued to dedicate myself to running the shop.
Sanada-san, what did you want to talk about?
I found a great questionnaire app for collecting customer reviews and improving our stores.
Oh, really? How do you use it?
First, you make an account, create a QR code, print it onto the tables and receipts. Upon some data analysis, we discovered that the ratings for our desserts were low. We came up with a new dessert menu and tested many recipes.
Let's see. Looks good. I think the customers will like this. Whoa! It's unusual for Sayaka-san to give the okay after one try. You're good.
If we get rid of some menu items that aren't popular, there will be less preparation and our service will be faster. My ideas were being used more and more.
Sanada-san, can I have a word?
Oh yes, what do you need?
Do you have some time after this? I want to talk to you about something.
I understand. I'll go clean the front of shop. I wondered why she was being so formal all of a sudden, and returned to her after I cleaned. Sorry to keep you waiting. What did you want to talk about?
Recently, the customers seem happier and the atmosphere is even better.
You're right. I think so too.
That's all thanks to your efforts. The customers were complimenting you. I'm so grateful.
What? It's nothing. I'm just doing my job. I wasn't used to being complimented, so I felt a bit shy being praised up front like that.
You're a much more amazing person than you think you are. Have more confidence.
Oh no, I might cry. Now that I thought about it, no matter how hard I worked at my last job, all I got was a higher goal to work toward. My work was being recognized for the first time, and I almost cried.
Let's have fun for all the times you struggled before.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm gonna go all out on dinner tonight. That night, I was on top of the world when a phone call came. Hello?
Long time. How are you?
It was my former coworker. Oh, long time. I'm doing well. How are things there?
So listen up. It's as terrible as always. I can't.
She wanted me to hear out her complaints, and I was stuck listening for 2 hours. My previous company drastically increased its storefronts, but it wasn't going well. Due to lack of employees, they moved on to franchising and are letting people outside the company run their stores.
They're trying to make it look like things are better with PTO and overtime regulations. But on the back end, it's unpaid overtime galore as always, and unlimited harassment too. Ugh, maybe I'll change jobs too. I want to kick some superiors' butts first though.
By talking to this former teammate, I realized again how absurd that company was. Sometime later, some crazy news arrived at the CEO's desk.
Hey, what's going on? Why do they know about our falsified books?
We're currently investigating that,
But there seems to have been a leak. What? Who is it? They're fired. Fire them now!
His treatment of others had come back to bite him. News of the fraud spread quickly around the industry. Complaints and concerns started pouring in. On top of that, one of the franchise shop owners was about to sue them.
That company treats people like slaves! We cannot forgive that kind of evil!
They made it look like you can get a franchising contract through taking a simple course. After that, they did little things to cut off the contract. They had their method to get the contract fee. From then on, it was one disaster after the other. I quit.
I also quit.
You guys! Panic spread in the office, and the employees were quitting one after the other.
Shoot! No loyalty! We can't work together in times like this!
Kuroiwa-san was desperate to get over the situation, but it was no use. Things only got worse by the day.
Welcome!
Please try our famous apple and nuts tart.
One day, I was working at the shop as always when the door opened.
Welcome. Wait, what?
It was my former superior, Kuroiwa-san. Long time no see. What happened?
Sanada, I'm glad to see you're well. I have something to tell you.
What do you need?
Sanadaichi, are you okay? I'll watch the shop so you can go.
I agreed and headed behind the shop.
I'll just come right out. Won't you come back to your company?
What? I was at a loss for words at this unexpected suggestion, but I came to and answered. No, that's not possible. I work here now.
If you come back, you'll be rewarded. If you want, I'll recommend you for a spot even higher than manager.
Kuroiwa-san came at me, but my mind was made. I'm sorry, I refuse.
Why? If you'll come back, I'll accept any condition you have.
I have no intention of returning to my former workplace. I like my current living situation. A little while back, I couldn't have said it this clearly, but I knew that I was different from who I was before.
Grr! How dare you speak like that when this company took care of you?
Misunderstanding was an understatement, but this man must have felt like he was bitten by his little pet. His expression shifted into one of anger.
Sanada, this is for your own good. It's not too late. Come back!
I said I refuse. Don't make me say it again. I answered with exasperation. He wouldn't let it go. Kuroiwa-san, why do you care about that company so much? Are you brainwashed too?
Brainwashed? How dare you! I'm there of my own accord. Don't compare it to some weird religion.
No, it's the same. It's no different than some cult. I showed Kuroiwa-san my phone screen. Honestly, this situation right now is weird. I can put this out wherever it needs to be.
What? Who do you think I am?
I continued speaking to Kuroiwa-san, who was furious. I don't know if you're aware, but beyond this, it could turn into a threat.
What are you doing recording this?
I think I'll put this on social media if anything happens.
I've heard enough! You're gonna return the favor with disloyalty? Shame on you!
He shouted and looked like he might punch me, so I braced myself.
That's enough! I won't forgive you if you go any further.
A dignified voice rang out. At the same time, Sayaka-san came in between us.
Who are you? We're in the middle of something important. Strangers can stay out of it.
I'm no stranger. He is my subordinate and precious teammate.
So what? I have something to say to him. I won't hold back if you get in the way.
Sayaka-san got up close to him with no fear.
Won't hold back? What you gonna do, huh?
Sayaka-san started glaring him down. You could imagine her like this from the way she usually was.
What? Who is this rude woman?
Don't start a fight right outside the shop. You're impeding our business. Keep talking and I'll stick my hand in your ear and knock your molars loose.
Kuroiwa-san backed away.
Grr, some gangster you are! Don't think you'll get away with this!
Huh? Come at me. I'll play with you anytime you want, knucklehead!
Looks like the match came to an end. Sayaka-san watched as Kuroiwa-san left. She turned to me.
Let's go back inside, Sanada-san.
I better not ever make her angry. I kept that thought to myself. After that, my former workplace was met with several lawsuits. Company funds disappeared into legal fees and such. They were forced into bankruptcy, and the CEO was arrested.
What you see here is a brainwashing training camp footage from a former employee.
What have I been working for this whole time?
Kuroiwa-san had lost his job. I heard he struggled to find another, and his wife left him. He deserved it, but maybe he was just another victim of a terrible company. Switching locations, this was at a ryokan. I was at my company trip.
You gotta relax like this from time to time. We can't do luxurious things like this every day. Eat up.
I appreciated her care for me. I asked something I was curious about. Sayaka-san, you're like a different person when you get angry. Did something happen before?
Oh, Sayaka-san was a full-on delinquent before. She was a famous girl gang leader in the Northeast.
The next moment, Sayaka-san's pale arm stretched toward Kanon-san's face.
Kanon-san? That was a secret, remember? Ow! Ma'am! How is a delicate arm like that so strong?
Maybe I shouldn't have asked. No matter your past, you can change if you find an environment that's good for you. I realized that that's the shortest route to growth and happiness.